So, after reading a few articles and watching a few videos, I've stumbled across something pretty interesting. Not stumbled exactly, but I've read and listened to something pretty interesting. So, everybody remembers these Call of Duty montages, or these CS:GO frag movies, or TF2 frag movie kind of deals. The especially like Blue, like people, a lot of people in these communities know about these kinds of videos, and on Call of Duty, like this is where a lot of them started. These a lot of these Call of Duty YouTubers and teams started. People like FaZe and Optic and YouTubers like Chaos, and I forgot exactly the name of the other guy, but he makes he's really famous in the Call of Duty community for making montages. But anyways, so apparently these videos of playing, playing to the best of your ability and getting just insanely not lucky. Well, yeah, lucky, but also uh, skillful shots on your enemies and things like that. Basically, these videos are apparently going to be deemed unmonetized and aren't going to be considered advertiser friendly. Now, I first heard about this uh, from a friend of mine. He was reading an article about it from Polygon, and when I looked up the article, I found another article, basically kind of TLDR of this kinda. Um, and then I also watched this video right here, basically explaining it a little bit more. Another too long didn't read kind of version of the Polygon article here. But basically, what Chaos and Polygon and I don't know how to pronounce this, Dexerto, that's what it is, I think. Basically, what they are saying is Counter Strike, TF2, Call of Duty, Battlefield, doesn't matter if it's any of those video games with any sort of if it's a video focused on your best kills, quote unquote, then it is deemed too violent for advertisement. And I don't even know where to start with this. First off, it's fake. It's all fake. All of these quote you heard me say earlier, quote unquote kills. All of these are not you're not shooting at a real person. Is there a real person controlling the person you are shooting at? Yeah, but they are safe behind a monitor or or a television. They're holding a controller, a mouse and keyboard, or something similar to that. When you quote unquote kill the other player, they just kind of sit back in their seat like,
Ah, damn.
maybe they could be a little more angry about it. They could be kind of raging and yelling, but they're not dead. They are not physically hurt. They are completely fine, and they might just they'll just respawn somewhere else. Here, either a few seconds later, or maybe a minute or two later, depending on the game you're playing. But they're going to respawn sometime else. They're not dead. And apparently, they cannot distinguish, YouTube's algorithm or whatever cannot distinguish the difference between pixels and real death. Now, are there a lot of videos on YouTube of people actually dying? Yes, there are a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them, but this is nothing. This is nowhere close to the brutality of a real person being killed. The player, again, just emphasizing, the player is fine when their in-game character is quote unquote killed. But YouTube and advertisers apparently do not. They don't care. But it gets more interesting though. When I was watching Chaos's video. Oh, by the way, another thing. When you see this, okay, there's some blood on the wall. Oh, scary, you know. Falls over. That kind of deal, you know. Bam, shoots him. He falls over. There's a little bit of blood splatter on the wall there. It's the same deal here. I mean, you barely even see, you know, he falls over. There's barely any blood or anything. That's considered too, you know, that's considered too violent. So, why is it shows like AMD's The Walking Dead is allowed to get away with this kind of stuff? Is allowed to have advertisers when they have things like this? When they are allowed to have scenes, I can't find it. I just found it like 4 seconds ago. But like, there we go. They are allowed to have things like this in the TV show. They are allowed to have the scene when the one guy gets his skull just destroyed by this dude's baseball bat. You know, there's blood all over. You know, there's blood everywhere. There's guts spilling everywhere. There was literally a scene where a dude had his head completely blown against the side of a house, or in this side, like in a wall, all over the wall inside of a house. This is okay. Wait, look over here. Spoilers, I guess. I don't really care too much, but this is okay. That's okay for an advertiser. This isn't okay. You know, this is okay for an advertiser. You know, Bud Light. This is okay. This is not. And I know I'm saying Bud Light, but that's just kind of an example because you see advertisements for them everywhere. But basically what I'm driving home here is this is okay. This is okay. And it's way more violent than this. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh, and then also another interesting thing brought up by Chaos here is see how he's playing the game. He's playing the game, doing what you're supposed to do. Oh, he gets shot, dies. Okay, gets right back up. And I'm just going to back it up a little bit. There's more of the reading, but he's running around and he's shooting at the enemy. He is, quote-unquote, killing the, quote-unquote, enemies in this fictional game. This fictional violence in a not real setting with not real weapons, killing not real people with not real blood on not real walls. You see the point I'm trying to... I just woke up my dog. You see the point I'm trying to drive home here is this is okay. This is completely fine because he is commentating over it. I'm not going to turn on the sound, but he is commentating over this gameplay. This is considered fine. That is. This is not, because it has music and sort of visual effects added in, and the main focus of the video is the frags themselves. I don't get it. You can have a Call of Duty match where you go like 30-0 or 30-1 or something, you know, some ridiculous number like that. You kill, you get 30 frags. A total of 5 people could be in a Frag movie. Well, okay, let's make it a little bit more believable here. You could go like 70 and 10 in a game of COD, in like one of those big games that lasts for a really, really long time, those 20-minute games. If you're commentating over it, that's fine. Again, 70 frags in one video, yet 10 frags or 20 frags is without being commentated over is not okay. What? What? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And that's the thing, like reading through these articles saying that it's because they are focused on violence. They are essentially again, to put it in a too long getting read. If you want to look at these articles, I'll try to remember to link them, but they say that it's because it is focusing on the violence. It is focusing and glorifying the violence. That is why these are considered not safe for advertisers under YouTube system. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's not YouTube's fault, and that is true. That the fact that they are not the ones who are individually striking the different, or no, sorry, they are the host. They are what allow people to upload it's the site where people are allowed to upload their videos, to put whatever they want up there, that kind of thing. And the advertisers are the ones who are kind of nitpicking what they want their ads on. They say, if a company walks over and says, oh, I don't want my video on anything doing with violence. I don't like violence. We don't want our brand to be associated with violence. We don't want our brand being associated with racism. We don't want our brands being associated with war, that kind of thing. That is them. But YouTube has the algorithm and has the potential to be able to distinguish the two. The difference between real life violence and the difference between real life violence and between video game violence, quote unquote violence in a video game. And sorry, a dog snoring in the background, but they have the algorithm to be able to distinguish those two things. Now, I don't know if there's any sort of workaround to this. Maybe if you don't name it Kill Montage, maybe if you just call it Frag Movie or Frag Montage. I'm not certain. I'm not exactly 100% certain if that is a workaround. I highly doubt it, but that is one thing to keep in mind if you are somebody who wants to upload a montage of CSGO or TF2 or Call of Duty or any game, Battlefield, Overwatch, Rising Storm Vietnam. It doesn't matter. If you're somebody who makes these types of videos, this is something that is going to definitely hurt you, especially people like Blue. Blue is really the only person that I'm very, and Lucky Luke. I forgot about Lucky Luke, but Blue is really the only one that I know by name when it comes to frag montages and whatnot. That's what a lot of his content is frag movies. So these YouTubers are just basically, for lack of a better term, getting shafted because of this algorithm change and the sort of censorship and this censorship on certain topics. So there's a lot to look into. I might do a more full-on, in-depth look into these kinds of things, but basically that is the too long getting read version. Is these videos aren't going to be monetized, or at the very least are going to be kind of put up for review to see if there is any gratuitous violence, which I don't see how CS is gratuitous, but whatever. Whatever boats their float, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, call it a night. I'll see you guys in whatever I make. Just it's a shit show. It really is. But it's supposedly getting better, so we'll have to wait and see what that means. Have a good evening, afternoon, day, night, whatever is for you. Have a good one of it, and bye-bye.